Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So it's official, we are getting the Legacy of Kain Collection on Evercade, and it will be up for pre-order at the end of August, and it will be on sale at the end of September. So that really is not far away at all. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a quick look at the trailer, and I'll obviously give you my thoughts on the games, and we'll play through them as well. So let's have a look. Okay guys, so obviously the trailer, pretty impressive, probably one of the best sort of sneak previews trailers that I think Blaze have done so far. Just my opinion, I think but sometimes their trailers can be a little bit lackluster, and I'm not complaining because that has obviously set the tone for me to give more information on the games and play through them in a little bit more in depth to let you know what these games are like and if they're any good. I don't really think I need to do that with these games because I'm pretty sure a lot of people will have played these games before and probably heard of them, and I think their name will go obviously without me actually saying so. These are huge games. They were well reviewed back in the day, and I remember playing these on PlayStation and Legacy of Kain Reaver. I remember also playing the Dreamcast version as well. So pretty large games, and these are probably some of the reasons why we're getting Giga carts, because without that we probably wouldn't fit these on normal size Evercade cartridges. So this will probably sell for £25, similar to the Tomb Raider collection as well, I would imagine. But yeah, so we've got the original Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, and I think this is the first game. I might be completely wrong. It's more like an RPG style action game. Pretty cool. I remember playing a lot of this. I wasn't really an expert in the game. I probably a lot of mindless wandering about, especially Soul Reaver. Interestingly enough, I don't really remember playing the first game, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Maybe I've played it, maybe I've not, but it's not one that sticks in my memory. So without further ado, guys, let's get playing some of the games, and I'll obviously talk as I go and give you my impressions of what these games are like. But as I said before, I think these games probably do their talking for them, and the fact that they are well-known PlayStation games, I think you'll already know that these are classics and really decent titles, and definitely worth buying without even me going into the video. But anyway, let's play the games.
There is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word.
The tavern's closing. Best be on your way, stranger. What? No mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man in these dark times. Things come with the night that no sane man would welcome. And so I left, cold of heart and soul, forced to the road and the long, bitter night.
So first up, we're looking at Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, and I'm pretty sure this is the first in the series of these Legacy of Kain games. And this is a top-down sort of action RPG style game. There's a heck of a lot of speech throughout the game. Some of it is a little bit repetitive. There's something definitely of note if you compare my gameplay to the actual Evercade gameplay. Obviously, this is not running on Evercade. This is just emulation. The sort of lighting is definitely much improved. I am pretty sure, looking at Evercade's gameplay footage from the trailer, that they have definitely touched up the lighting and made things a lot lighter to both games. I'm pretty sure there's definitely some changes being made. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. Now, I know they did that for Tomb Raider as well, so no doubt they have made some subtle changes to these games. Now, I'm pretty sure they will let us know that officially, but just looking at the differences between the lighting, it's quite clear to me that they have obviously lightened up. And now, they probably had to, because these games are very, very dark, especially Blood Omen. At times it is very difficult to see, and I think if you were playing this on a handheld, you would really, really struggle. Anyway, on to the actual games. As I said, I don't think I played Blood Omen before. It's one of those early PlayStation titles. I think it's quite obvious looking at the graphics and the FMV here that it's a little bit ropey, a little bit dated looking, and the graphics themselves probably a little bit dated. But it looks like Blaze have probably touched them up, so hopefully that the games do show some sort of improvement, because that would be very welcome indeed. But the games themselves, I think there's a lot of loading times. Hopefully Blaze have done something about that as well. There's a lot of loading times between scenes, and at times there's a little bit of slowdown too. As you can probably tell with the graphics here, it is unbelievably tough to actually see, so fingers crossed there's options there that we can actually lighten that up, or Blaze have made changes. But I wasn't a big fan of the game. It was okay, a lot of bit of sort of wandering back and forth. It is pretty difficult, but I know there are massive fans out here of this game. It's not bad. I don't think it's amazing, but it's not bad. I definitely prefer Soul Reaver in that type of game.
Reputed to have been ripped from the chest of the greatest vampire to have ever existed, Janos Audron, the heart of darkness restores vampiric unlife. Life is precious, Janos discovered, as it was torn, throbbing and bleeding from his own body. Be Victor! This ancient vial bears with it a dark gift indeed, for with it my life force is increased. Be Victor! The world had changed to my eyes. I had not expected such cruelty from the light. For in the embrace of the sun I could find no comfort, only malice. This would change in time for the worse, along with other things. When rainfall comes, vampires are wise to find shelter from its acidic touch. Save Victor! Save Victor! Save Victor! Save Victor! These ancient symbols of power contain raw magical energy that increases my own capacity to summon energy for the spawning of spells. Save Victor! These curious devices hurl bolts of whirling energy and eviscerate my human enemies by stripping ragged flesh from blood-stained bone. The world had changed to my eyes. I had not expected such cruelty from the light. For in the embrace of the sun I could find no comfort, only malice. This would change in time for the worse, along with other things. Hunger and weakness are no bar to vengeance's call. I would find my slayers and send them back whence I came.
If we put you down once, we could do it again.
What trickery is this? The heart of darkness. There is no greater release than that from vengeance sated. With my assassins dead, my quest was over.
'Tis not over, Kain. These fools were merely the instruments of your murder, not the cause. Look to their masters, look to the pillars, and gain way to the fortress of the mind.
There's no doubt about it, this game is pretty cool and probably a little bit unique compared to what we already have on Evercade. There's not that many games that you could probably compare it to, and I'm looking forward to getting the Evercade official release, get that manual, maybe read it and understand how to play this game in its full and get the most out of it. And I know there's a lot of fans out there that are loving that this is coming to Evercade, but equally there's plenty of people out there that are not really that fussed and really don't care. But obviously not every game suits everyone.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the Lake of the Dead.
Cast him in.
So you're probably maybe looking at this if you've never played it before and wondering what the fuss was about. You probably have to rewind yourself back to obviously 96, 97, whenever this was actually released on the original PlayStation, and try and picture this as being something new and unique that we'd never really experienced before from the makers of Tomb Raider. It was just a little bit different and certainly fascinated everyone that probably played it. Now, I'm not saying I loved this game, because I definitely didn't love the game. I wasn't really that good at it. I got a little bit lost at times. I think that was one of the things I didn't enjoy about the game, was there was a lot of aimless wandering about. Now, that could really just be a skill issue again, regards to myself, and maybe didn't know exactly what to do, where to go. And I think one of the things that didn't help was the camera wasn't the greatest. You could obviously look round about yourself, but I don't remember being able to actually look up and down. And when you're playing through the game, it does make a massive difference to where you can see those hidden ledges up high where you need to move some blocks to get to, type of thing. But yeah, I definitely got a lot frustrated with it, and I don't remember making heavy progress into the game. But obviously I liked the game enough that I actually bought it again on Dreamcast, because the Dreamcast obviously improved the graphics further still, and it just looked so fascinating that you had to play it. It's one of those games that you would quite happily show off your PlayStation 2 with the sort of sound effects, the FMV, all the different sort of horror elements that are going on. It just made it stand out from practically every other game that you played at the time. It was definitely up there with some of the best stuff round about then. But I suppose looking at it now, I think obviously it's been probably surpassed by loads of different sort of style games, but this is a classic piece of PlayStation sort of games, and it's probably still in maybe even many people's top 100 PlayStation games of all time, maybe even further up the list than that. Now, I'm not entirely sure where I would rate this PlayStation game in my top PlayStation games of all time. I certainly like it. I'm not massively in love with it. I know some people like it, some people don't. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think I still remember all the frustrations playing this game back on the original PlayStation. But funny enough, I probably got further playing the game for this video than I ever did back in the day, which is kind of almost laughably embarrassing. But anyway, there's lots of enemies that you can defeat in the game, lots of different weapons to pick up. You can kill the enemies in various different ways, like impaling the enemies. You can chuck the enemy against the wall to impale it on a spike. You can throw the enemy onto fire. Just do not forget to suck that soul up that gets released from the body. Obviously it does give you more health, but if you don't suck it up, it will probably reanimate the body and you'll have to defeat the enemy all over again, which can be a little bit frustrating. Now, the camera in the game is okay, but like I said, you can only seem to turn left and right, and the camera goes bonkers when there's more than one enemy. When you're trying to target more than one enemy, the sort of camera seems to shudder all over the place, so it really doesn't work, and it does cause a little bit of frustration. So sometimes you're probably better off not even holding that camera button and just swing your weapon like crazy, and obviously just look like a complete madman like I am. But still, overall, I think it's a really cool game. There's no doubt this is a classic from PlayStation late 90s era, and a lot of people will have this game highly regarded. Personally, I'm not sure. Maybe was it a little bit overrated? Maybe I just needed to get a little bit better at the game to enjoy it in its full. Okay, so should you buy this cart for your Evercade? Absolutely you should. Although I know, I'm well aware there's a lot of people out here that don't see the fuss in these games, and I'm probably on the fence a little bit, but I recognise that these are absolute classics for PlayStation, and they were amazing titles back in the day. Do they still stand up as amazing titles now? That's obviously debatable, but one of the interesting points here is that these games are not actually available anywhere else at present. You can't buy them on PlayStation, Xbox, or anything else. I'm pretty sure you could probably pick them up in probably the PlayStation Vita store, even though that's probably been deactivated at this point. But other than that, you can't actually get these titles unless you buy the originals. So this could be something of a unique purchase for your Evercade. Although I'm pretty sure there are remasters going to happen some point, maybe even this year for Christmas time, which is probably why this has been released now and not at Christmas. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Catch you again in the next one. Let me know your thoughts. Bye for now.